Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to take a little bit of a look at the top 10 most expensive full art supporter cards. It's been a little bit of a while since we went and refreshed this list, so let's go and do it now. Now, starting off, I've rounded these to the nearest $5. I've used TCG Play, a great website. I've had a look around eBay. I've had a little bit of a look around Card Market. Card Market, great site, used a lot by Europeans. Card Market is, well, it's for Europeans. It's not used quite as much as TCG Player, so although it's a very good website, that gets a little bit less weight, but it's still a website I've used because it's a website that's awesome. Now, 9 and 10 both come in around $15, but there's also a bunch of others that come in at around $15. So let's look at the almost made it. Like Melanie from Chilling Reign. Incidentally, where I've rounded it to nearest $5, that does mean some of them are going to look like they've got the same value, but obviously I've had a look around in a bunch of places. I've ordered them according to roughly which one tends to skew a little higher and lower. Obviously, it's not perfect, and it can change on a daily basis. So, the Melanie from Chilling Reign, good card, very playable. Melanie's not the most popular character out there, but Melanie, as a supporter card, lets you attach a water energy and draw free cards. It's really good, and it's really playable. Do remember, though, that with the advent of Astral Radiance, there is a new full art Melanie in the Trainers Gallery, and it is worth noting the Trainers Gallery full art trainers do not attract the same value as the regular ones. So that is, it's something that's worth noting just a little bit. Personally, I'm mad at Melanie because people thought Melanie with an Ultra Ball was hinting at an Ultra Ball reprint. It wasn't. That's the ball she uses in the game, as you can see in both artworks. But that Ultra Ball was reprinted and people thought that they were right when it was a hint, when it wasn't a hint. Boo, hiss, etc. Also coming in at around $15, we've got ourselves Caitlyn, and Caitlyn's a cool little card. Doesn't see a huge amount of play, honestly. Caitlyn is not a powerhouse in the metagame. I don't think is an unfair statement. Lets you, and it actually does what it did before, put any number of cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck and then draw that many cards. Caitlyn largely makes a list, or, doesn't actually, but comes very, very close to making the list because Caitlyn is a very popular character, and it really is as simple as that. Also, not quite on the list, we've got Peonia, and Peonia's kind of the opposite. Not the most popular character ever, but a pretty playable card that lets you put up to 3 prize cards into your hand and then replace them. And you do put them face down, but don't shuffle, so you can know which ones are where. We've seen this, especially when we're streaming and we've got the prize cams there. It's really cool knowing that they're after a particular card and seeing which ones they get with Peonia. It's a lot of fun. And then finally, we've got Flannery, which confuses me a little bit, because I never pegged Flannery as one of the more popular gym leaders, and it is, discard a special energy from one of your opponent's Pokémon and a stadium in play. It's fine, but it doesn't really see any play, really at all, which I do find kind of interesting. Also fun to note, all the cards I'm talking about here all happen to be from Chilling Reign. That's just a coincidence. So they're all around about $15. What does make the list with the same price is Marnie's Pride. It's Marnie. We are going to see real Marnie, as in the Marnie supporter card that's just called Marnie. We are going to see that higher up this list. It's a very good card, and it's Marnie. It's a fair bit more expensive. Marnie's Pride is not a particularly amazing card. Attaches a basic energy from your discard to one of your bench. It's a cool card, and I do think it's going to see play here and there until it rotates out. It's playable, it's not stunning, but it is Marnie, and any card that is Marnie is always going to have a little bit of an advantage over any card that, to be blunt, is not Marnie. And then coming in at number 5, nominally $15, but it's usually a little bit higher. You won't often find it at $15. It's Raihan. And I know that Raihan's got a lot of fans. One of the more popular characters from Gen 8. But Raihan also happens to be a really good card. If you had a Pokemon knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you attach a basic energy from your discard to one of your Pokemon and search your deck for any card. We see this popping up in a lot of decks nowadays. You know, if you go back and watch the EUIC stream that I was lucky enough to be a part of, we talked about Raihan a lot because Raihan just kept being played. And you know what? With so many Pokemon in the format at the moment that just need an extra energy here or there, it's going to keep happening. Raihan is here to stay, and honestly, I could see this rising up. And now, I usually do these lists, focusing only on cards that can be found in sets, but we do now have a couple of promo full art supporters, which Japan have had for ages. You know, they've been doing full art supporters as promos for a while. We really haven't been, but we've done a couple now, and actually, they do make the list. So, in at number 8, we've got Professor's Research Juniper at about $20. And this one, I don't particularly trust. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Juniper more than the other Professors featured on this card, and Juniper's the one I would rather play. But it's from a box, and $20 for something from like a $40-odd box, it seems a little bit expensive. But then again, this is proving somewhat hard to find. Mine actually just turned up. As I record this, mine literally turned up like half an hour ago after being delayed by a while. A lot of people in the UK had it delayed, boo, hiss, etc. So you know what? I'm not sure it's going to stay here, but I think it is right to put it here. And what's really interesting is that we've got other full art Professor's Research, but none of them come close. Professor's Research Magnolia from the Sword and Shield base set is, I mean, I'd put it at a $5 card, but honestly, it's probably not quite $5 at this stage. And as for Professor Oak, the one from Celebrations, one that I pulled 3 playsets of, if I'm doing that to the nearest $5 like I've done for all the others, it's free. Like, literally free. It's got a market price on TCG Player of $1.64, but honestly, there are listings for as low as 80 cents. It's cheap enough that it's almost not worth selling, because the price of the stamp is about as much as a card is worth. It is a hyper cheap card. Little bit sad, because I pulled like 1 billion of them. Be nice if it was super expensive, but it's still a really cool card. Take your pick, but Juniper's the one with the value. In at number 7, we've got Roxanne, which is nominally about $20, but very much trending to the lower end of this. And this is a card which has just come out in Astral Radiance, and you do need to be a little bit careful. Like, I'm always going to do this video at some point close to when a set's been released. Just, you know, by the nature of the videos, there's always a set which has just been released. They come out every 3 months. And I would be a little bit careful about Roxanne. It could drop a little bit. But then again, playability-wise, it looks like an amazing comeback card. If your opponent's got 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, you both shuffle draw, but you get 6, and your opponent only gets 2, which is clearly good. But people aren't really playing Roxanne very much at the moment. So this could end up going down because it's the new set, and as it gets older, people get less excited. Or this could end up going up because actually Roxanne sees a bit more play. This is one to keep an eye on. In at number 6, we've got Sonia. And Sonia's here very simply because Sonia is a very, very playable card. And actually, to be fair, a pretty popular character from Gen 8 while we're here. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon or 2 basic energy, put them into your hand. We actually see Tord Reklev playing this more often than your average player, and to be fair, I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say this, Tord is the best Pokemon TCG player in the world. No, I don't think I'm exaggerating. Seriously, go and look at recent results. Tord's better than anybody else's. Like, if you look at the past few years, Tord is the best in the world. So if Tord's saying Sonia's good, then hey, maybe Sonia might actually be worth a little bit of a look. Something to bear in mind. Either way, popular character, very playable card, earns its way on the list. But I've put it a little bit below Klara, which I'm also pegging as a $20 card. And Klara, again, is here because this is a card which is finding its way into a lot of decks. Although, again, a lot of these, it's not a coincidence. Let's just put it that way. It's not a coincidence that the vast majority of the top 10 list is made up of female characters. Put it that way. And Klara here is a very playable card that sees a huge amount of play. It's recovery. And it's really good recovery in a format where we've got a bunch of Pokemon draw, etc., and we can afford to occasionally use recovery with our supporters. Grab 2 Pokemon, 2 basic energy, straight to your hand, not to your discard. There are reasons why Klara is a great card. In at number 4, we've got the promo Marnie, which is coming in at around about $25. And again, this Marnie was from a premium tournament collection. Although the thing is, don't get me wrong, the Juniper one hasn't been the easiest one to find, but Marnie was borderline impossible for a while. Now, I will say, when Marnie actually came out, all of my friends that wanted one were eventually able to get one, which is really cool. But this then disappeared and hasn't come back. I'm not really entirely sure why we think that Marnie's worth $25 and Juniper's worth $20. Marnie seems like it should be worth a fair bit more. And this is Marnie. It's a great card. Both players shuffle their hands and put them on the bottom of the deck. You get 5 cards, your opponent gets 4. Marnie's been a staple in like every deck for a while now. And sure, we've gone to more Pokemon draw than supporter draw, but even then, this still sees a whole bunch of play, as, even if it's just the 1 or 2 of in a bunch of decks, for that little bit of hurt, little bit of disruption, while also being a not terrible early game draw supporter if you're desperate. In at number 3, we've got Irida, and this is another one that just came around in Astral Radiance, brand new card, and again, I repeat my warning here, this one could drop. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one drop in value over the next few months. Because honestly, don't get me wrong, right? Irida is a popular character, and this is a playable card, but I really don't think Irida's necessarily on the level of some of the others. Incidentally, in Japan, don't expect to get this anywhere close to $30, and do not expect the value to drop anytime soon. In Japan, these kind of cards like Irida, the really rare, really popular full art supporters, they do tend to get a little bit silly. I mean, as an example, Gloria was one of the cards, the one from VMAX Climax that a lot of people love. That was the big one over in Japan. In English, it's like legit a $10 card. You can pretty easily pick it up for $10. It doesn't even make the honorable mentions of this list. In Japan, it's 18,000 yen, roughly according to Mercari, or to put it another way, $135. So if you want cards like Irida, like Gloria, etc., might I suggest that if you're not rich, I don't know, maybe buy the English version. Just putting that one out there. Worth noting, Gloria was in the Trainer Gallery subset, which remember does make it a little bit cheaper. So with all of those said, that must mean that in at number 2, we've got the Marnie from Sword and Shield, and this one earns its place. And everything I said about Marnie before totally holds here. It's a very good card, very playable, sees a huge amount of play, popular character. This is the first one. And sure, we've got the promo as well at this stage. We've got 2 different full arts, but this one is very clearly above. This is a $30 card, the other one's a $25 card. Maybe they'll flick around, but looking at the moment, it really does seem to be that the Sword and Shield Marnie is, very clearly above it in terms of value. Nothing really to add as to what we said before, but something to bear in mind. And that means that at number 1, we've got Boss's Orders from Rebel Clash, which is coming in at around about $35. And you know what? Boss might be a male card here, which we've seen is not prevalent on the list. But the fact of the matter is, it's Giovanni. We all know Giovanni's cool. And also, it's Boss's Orders. And Boss's Orders is just that good a card. Whereas some cards like Professor's Research have come in and out of play because we've got Pokemon that do similar things. No. Boss's Orders doesn't go out of play. And we might have other characters on Boss's Orders, but none of them have had full arts. So whereas we're just about to get our 4 full art Professor's Research, that being Willow in Pokemon Go, we've not actually, we're not going to be seeing any other full art Boss's Orders, not unless something changes. As it stands at the moment, do not expect any other Boss's Orders full arts. This is it. You can have Cyrus and Lysander, but you can only have them as regular, non-full art, regular art things feel free to be upset about it. For now, ladies and gentlemen, that's your list, that's your top 10, and I want to hear from you guys. Which of these are your favourites? Which did you pull from packs? Which have you gone out of your way to buy? Or do you just not care about any of them? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.